What's going on, everybody? It's me, Ben, here live. This is a Benzone exclusive. Uh, Today's the day. It is the NFL season is officially back. Now, I know that it's a preseason game. It's the Hall of Fame game. You're not going to see Caleb Williams. You're not going to see C.J. Stroud. Uh, but whatever. It's still the NFL. It is officially back. Tonight we have an NFL game for the first time since the Super Bowl with the Chiefs beating the 49ers. So it's back. I'm excited. Um, Man, we've been waiting like 5, 6 months, that we get to see a real football game. Now again, preseason, the guys you're going to see out there tonight are probably going to be at UPS or Costco or Home Depot a month from now, most of them anyway, but that doesn't matter. They're still out there. They're still trying to make a team achieve their dreams, which is incredible. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But still, football is football, and man, we are back. And I got to say, we got some news today on the Bucks. Obviously, uh, Tristan Wirfs signing his deal. It's over $140 million, 5 years, uh, 88 million guaranteed. Um, I know there was some worry, with some fans like, oh, why haven't they got him signed yet? Why, oh, we're gonna lose him. We're gonna like, no, come on, guys, relax. Listen, they were gonna get it done. It's just a matter of when. And you know, kudos to the Bucks front office again for doing a great job. Keeping one of their own, and it's always very important. When you draft players, you always the goal is you want them to succeed and get their second contract. And without a doubt, Tristan Wirfs definitely deserves a second contract with the Bucks, a big contract, 140 something million over 5 years, going to get at least 88 million guaranteed. Um, he is without a doubt probably the best, you know, uh, offensive lineman in the NFL, overall. And he allowed one sack his rookie year, um, and he's just been great ever since. You know, those are the type of players you don't even want to think about, you know, having them in test free agency. You want to get it done. And, Jason Light did it. He got it done like I predicted he would. Um, so now you got one of the best tackles in football protecting Baker Mayfield. Um, so again, the Bucks were able to sign pretty much all their guys, bring them back for the next few years. We're talking Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield, Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield. I mean, come on, job well done. Um, Barring any injuries, I mean, this team should be a playoff team every year. And Todd Bowles mentioned it in one of the Bucks videos that they do following the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is the goal is not just to win the division; it's obviously to win the Super Bowl. And certainly the Bucks are in a position right now, bringing back all their players, to have an opportunity to compete for a Super Bowl. And that's what you want every year. You want to be able to have a chance to compete. Now are you going to try and win Super Bowls every year? No, because a lot of things factor in. Other teams might be better that year. Injuries play a key part. We'll talk about an injury the Bucks had today in training camp in a minute. But you just always want to compete. That's the main goal. Compete, for a championship, compete to play in the playoffs, win the division. The Bucks have won the division 3 years in a row, looking to win their fourth straight NFC South division title, which has never been done before since the realignment back in 2002. But there's obviously loftier goals. Jason Light said this is, we're getting the boat parade ready, meaning that they want to do another boat parade after winning a Super Bowl. So that's always the goal. And, they've done their part. The front office has done their part. Now you just got to do it on the field. And last year, um, I know I'm going back to last year and everything, but the Bucks, almost got to the NFC Championship game. They were a quarter away from doing it. Uh, so they did very well last year, and you know, obviously 9-8. That's you'd like to be better than 9-8, but they still won the division. They won the playoffs, won a playoff game, um, and accomplished a lot, especially with a new quarterback. Baker Mayfield stepping in for Tom Brady. We all know those are going to be shoes or cleats that are going to be impossible to fill. But Baker came in last year, thought he did a real good job. And I like that it was a little different. He was able to take over a leadership role. Um, Not saying that Brady wasn't a leader; he certainly was, but you could tell his final year, 2022, it just seemed like that was it for Brady. It just wasn't the same Tom Brady, not the same focus. Last year, you know, Baker Mayfield, you know, took that leadership role. The players enjoyed playing for him. The offensive linemen loved playing for Baker Mayfield. Now you resign Tristan Wirfs. You got your blind side protected. I mean, what more can you ask for if you're a Bucks fan? So it's great times right now. And I did want to mention the injury that happened today. Linebacker Yaya Diaby, um, according to reports, had to be carted off the field. But he did get up on his own. He was down for a couple minutes, got up on his own, but had to be carted out. Now the latest from Jenna Lane, who covers the Bucks for ESPN, saying that the X-ray showed a high ankle sprain. So it's nothing too serious, which is good. It's a very good thing. The last thing you want is injury. So thank goodness that's all it was. But that's the thing I'm talking about that could prevent the Bucks or any team who are looking to have success this year are the injuries. The last thing you want are the injuries. You don't want to go into the season losing starters, especially Yaya Diaby, who led the Bucks in sacks last year. And he's a rookie too last year. So a rookie being able to lead the team in sacks is just incredible. And that's only a sign of good things to come. But again, the ankle sprain, it could be a little worrisome. But at the end of the day, at least it's not an ACL or Achilles, should say. So you avoided a major injury, and that's always your fear when a guy's down for a few minutes and a cart comes out. There's always that fear. Oh no, but you don't want to jump to conclusions either. And in this situation, the X-ray showed just a high ankle sprain, so that's a good thing. Again, injuries aren't good, but you'd rather have that than the worst case scenario. And so yeah, hopefully a speedy recovery for Yaya Diaby, and um, hopefully he gets back soon. There's other injuries around the league. Guys like DeAndre Hopkins for the Titans, the wide receiver. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Again, nothing major, but still, it's going to delay a possible good start for the Titans. Because Will Levis, he's going to need his receiver, and Hopkins still a pretty good receiver in the National Football League, but not having him, especially early on in the season, could hurt them as well. So, yeah. But again, tonight we got the NFL first game. Just going over some of these notes here. Next week, Hard Knocks debuts, training camp, Chicago Bears. So I'm sure you're going to see some highlights from tonight's game on Hard Knocks. And then the Green Bay Packers. I saw that they got they're gonna have an alternative helmet, the white helmets. I guess they're gonna be debuting in October. Um, so check that out. If you're a Packers fan watching this, check that one out. I saw a pic of the white helmets. Look pretty cool. It's white with the Green Bay Packer logo. So, and the Buccaneers on the 27th of October are going to be back to wearing the creamsicles, going up against the Falcons. So I'm excited for that. Again, I got my old school Bucko Bruce Bucks hat on. So, yeah. Again, tonight, it's the Texans and Bears Hall of Fame game at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure you watch. I'm going to watch, because, hey, NFL's back. So I'm excited. And, I know it's going to be third and fourth string guys, but again, it's the first NFL game since the Super Bowl. So I'm not gonna complain whatsoever. The Bucks they'll open their preseason next week, and they're opening up at Cincinnati. So again, we don't know who's going to play or how many or whoever does play the starters, how many snaps they're going to get. I'm not sure if Baker Mayfield is going to play or not. We'll see. I'm assuming not. I think they'll keep him out this game, but as we get toward the end of preseason, you'll get more reps from the starters. But you're going to see the rookies out there. Graham Barton's going to play. I forget his name. The guy from help me out here from Alabama, the defensive end that we drafted. But guys like that, a lot of the rookies will play. Bucky Irving, running back for Oregon, he's going to play as well. So, yeah, you'll see most of the rookies, the third stringers, second stringers, playing that first game against Cincinnati, which is going to be interesting. The Bengals, going to be an interesting year for them. Obviously, they last year, the Joe Burrow injury really affected them. Despite having a winning record, they still missed the playoffs, which was huge. So there's a lot of expectations in Cincinnati this year. So looking forward to that. Again, the first preseason game, you're not going to see a lot of the starters. Might not see any, but you'll see the rookies out there for sure. And you got to see what they can do. I'm excited to see Graham Barton play, see how our offensive tackle is going to do. I can't wait to see what he can do. For defensive guys as well, McKellen, the rookie from Washington. That's an interesting one. See him compete for a wide receiver spot on the team. So it's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. That's what you want to see in these preseason games. I know some fans might not like watching the preseason game because the starters aren't playing, but it's just as important. You got to see what kind of depth you have. So that's why I tune in, watch all these games. I want to see what our rookies can do, what our second stringers can do, and by the way, our undrafted rookies. Let's remember too that guys like Cameron Brate, he was undrafted. That was a good find by Jason Light. So look what he turned into. He's a very good tight end for us for several years for the Bucks. So, it's things like that you want to kind of keep your eye on and see, because those undrafted rookies could be your future tight end, could be your future wide receiver, your future linebacker or cornerback, So you just never know. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. Got some comments here tonight. Again, I'm not going to stay on too long because we got the game going on. I want to cook some dinner before the game starts. Let's see. Johnny says, "Stop lying, Ben." Thanks, Johnny, for tuning in. Boo Boo Bears from Johnny Dean. Scott Taylor says, what was he lying about? Scott Taylor, 7 p.m. Central. Anthony Handy, what's good, Ben? Hey, Anthony, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Marty McKnight, football is back. Yes. Johnny says, where did the volume go, Ben? Can you hear me now, Johnny? I think the volume should be okay. Let's do something real quick. Maybe it's your hearing aid. I don't know. Anthony said, hey, if you followed XF's USFL, hey, and the WFA, especially Oklahoma City Lady Force football, you would never have a football drought. Just a thought. Well, yes, by the way, I should mention that. The Oklahoma City Lady Force football, I have seen some of that stuff, Anthony. It's very good stuff. You know, I did put that on the Benzone, I think, a couple times. I'll put more of it on there. Apologize for not doing that lately. So, but yeah, there's football everywhere. So thank you for bringing that up, Anthony. Scott says, thanks for having the show on Facebook. Yeah, no problem, Scott. Christopher O'Reilly, thanks for tuning in, man. Says, good evening, sir. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate that. Appreciate you watching. Let's see. Christopher O'Reilly says, Ben, it's the first game. You're not getting pizza and wings, my guy. Yeah, maybe I should have, but if you want to know what I'm having for dinner, I'm making turkey sausage jambalaya. So, you know, a little home cooked meal for the game. Nothing wrong with that. I had pizza the other night, so I'm good on that for now. But I'll save the pizza and the wings for Bucks games. I'll save the good stuff for the Buccaneers game. Rick Hughes, I hear you good. Thanks, Rick. Thank you for tuning in, Rick. How you doing, sir? By the way, you can catch Rick Hughes, him and David Whitescarver, Bucks Live. They do a show, talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So always good, always informative. Check them out. I'll put them on the Benzone and in Facebook as well. And you can catch them on YouTube as well. Bucks Live. Johnny says, good now. Okay, cool. I'm glad you can hear me, Johnny. Anthony says, good looking out. WFA season's done, but the All-Star showed out in the All-Star game. All right, cool. Good stuff. Rick says, hey, thanks for that, Ben. Yeah, no problem, Rick. You know, always want to promote everybody. You know, that's important. You know, one of the reasons why I created the Benzone Facebook group is I like to promote everybody, put their stuff out there. Doesn't not just Bucks, but you know, I put two giant goofballs, you know, Andrew Davis, they got the Giants podcast. Obviously, we put out, you know, the Sports Web, Peter Blake, all his stuff. The JP Peterson show was out there today. I put that on there. I always do in the Tampa area. So they're a good listen right there. Just a lot of great stuff. You know, just, you know, the Benzone, that's what it's all about. Is putting great stuff on there. You know, sports, entertainment. I've been putting a lot of football stuff out there lately just because it's football season. That's what I want to do. You know, sometimes I do get lazy and not put as much stuff out there, but it is football season and there ain't going to be no laziness now. You know, the football stuff is coming in, it's rolling in, fast pace. So, but anyway, listen, the Bucks today, good stuff. Tristan Wirfs getting re-signed, thank goodness. You know, again, you don't want that guy leaving your building. You know, Jason Light prevented that. He says, we're going to get it done. You just had to get the language out of the way, the details, the fine print. Everything's good now. So the Bucks, that's good going into training camp, going into the preseason, because now everybody's here. The focus is there. You know, all we have to do is just not have injuries. You know, again, I know Yaya Diaby got hurt today, but it's only an ankle sprain, high ankle sprain. Might be out a few weeks, but he's going to be back. So other than that, man, let's, you know, for every NFL team, we don't want anybody getting hurt. You know, I know injuries happen, but for every NFL team out there, every player out there, just pray that, you know, everybody's healthy and get ready to go and see what we can do this year. You know, that's the goal for every NFL team. You know, stay healthy, get everybody you can sign. And that's another good thing about the Bucks. I know I keep bragging about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know it's the Benzone exclusive. It's, every NFL team. I just want to say though that it's great to see our Bucks in this position right now where we got everybody signed, because right now you have other teams out there like the 49ers, for example. Brandon Ayuk, he's still holding out. Trent Williams is still holding out. So they got bigger issues, and that's a team that's one of the favorites to try and, get back to the Super Bowl again. But when you got those, holdouts, got those distractions, it's not a good thing. And for Tampa, now you don't have it. Not that there was much distraction to begin with, because Tristan Wirfs did show up to camp. He didn't hold out or anything like that, like an official holdout. But now you got the focus there. Everybody's signed. Everybody's happy. So we're in a great position right now. Like I said, the 49ers, not so much. The Cowboys, CD Lamb's holding. So, things could be a lot worse. Hashan Reddick for the Jets, he's holding out. Things could be worse, but for the Bucks, things are looking great right now. The focus is there. Everybody's signed. Everybody's happy. Can't wait to see what they can do in their first preseason game. Christopher Cole, thanks for tuning in. He's watching on YouTube. By the way, my YouTube channel is Ben Cornett 9015, so check that out. Give me a like and subscribe. Appreciate that. He says, "Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, Christopher? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it." Again, guys, tonight we are just doing a little Benzone exclusive. It's not a have at it. It's not a face the heels. It's just a Benzone exclusive. NFL is back. That's the title of it. Again, just reading the news going on today with the Bucks. I know I keep bragging about the Bucks, but I'm a Bucks fan. What can I say? We're back. NFL's back. Who cares if it's the Texans and Bears? Who cares if it's the third or fourth string, players playing? NFL is back. And I'll tell you this, they're going to get a good rating no matter what. I know the Olympics are on and everything. Great. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love watching the Olympics. By the way, little Olympic plug real quick. The USA women's basketball team won today, 87-74 over Belgium. They looked very good. Saw some of that game. Looked pretty good. Katie Ledecky last night, 1,500 meters. Greatest swimmer of all time, in my opinion. She got her gold medal. Simone Biles won her individual gold medal today. Sonny Lee got the bronze for the U.S. So the Olympics, man, they're showing out. But the NFL, they're going to get a good rating. Again, even with the Olympics, the NFL will get a good rating with this Hall of Fame game tonight. So yeah, we're ready to go. Ooh, my water dropped. Let's see. I'm going to read a few more comments here. Anthony Handy at last but not least, it's almost time for dog football at Georgia and Tiger football at SSU. Let's go. That's right. College football is around the corner as well. Georgia Bulldogs. Anthony Handy, by the way, he has a show with Colin Passau. Hope I said that right. This fall on Let's Talk Football. So you'll catch that on the Benzone as well. They talk about Georgia Bulldogs football. Still a little disappointed that they annihilated us in the Orange Bowl, but my Florida State Seminoles. But it is what it is, Anthony. So kudos to you. Johnny says Ben doesn't promote his loan shark business, though. I can't do that. Well, sorry. Anthony Handy, I find it hilarious. Everybody's getting paid, and Dallas fans are like, "What about Dak?" Yeah, that's another thing. Is Dak going to get paid? I mean, he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't do it when it counts. That's the playoffs. 2 playoff wins. You really want to give that guy a lot of that money? I mean, again, he's a good regular season quarterback, but when it comes postseason time, not so much. And it's not just entirely Dak. being the reason why the Cowboys struggle in the playoffs, but he's a big part of that. So I don't know. Things will be interesting there. Keep an eye out on that. By the way, I'm sure you hear a lot of Dallas Cowboys stuff because, according to Cowboys fans, they're America's team, and the NFL loves to promote the Cowboys. Don't know why, but anyway. Again, I'll be fair and impartial. Johnny Dean says, "F you, Scott." Ooh, what'd you do, Scott? Uh, Anthony Handy, Johnny Dean, welcome to the Benzone, sponsored by Better Call Saul Law Group. That's a good show, by the way. On Victory Payday Loans, VPL, where you get your loan to buy a Hellcat, but if you don't pay, we'll take your house and all that. Ooh, dude, I might save that. I'm gonna star that comment, man. I like that one, Anthony. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the plug. Uh, Christopher O'Reilly says, Ben, out of curiosity, why all the torn ACLs so early? Well, Christopher, I'm not a medical guy. I don't claim to play one, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn until like last night. I stayed here at my house. No, I'm kidding. The NFLPA, with the practices and everything, they only do pads a few times a year, so it's to protect the players. But injuries happen all the time. Unfortunately, that's just part of it. The torn ACLs. I mean, who knows? Again, it just depends on the individual. Sorry if I can't give you a 100% accurate answer, but that's just an opinion of mine that part of it may be because there's no full contact. And some of the worst injuries in sports in general are non-contact injuries. So I don't know, Christopher. It's just not 100% surefire question, but the best I can say is that, in my opinion, a lot of it has to do with the individual. Stuff happens. That's just the way it is, and you hate to see it, but just depends on the athlete, I guess. I hope I answered your question as good as possible. Johnny Dean, I want it to be have at it. Yeah, we'll see if we do one tomorrow night. Depends on what I got going on, but hopefully we'll be on there. Read a comment from YouTube. Christopher Cole says, "Thank goodness that Yaya wasn't seriously injured." Yep, I agree. Yeah, thank goodness, because man, when they said he was down for a few minutes, you know, you get concerned. But again, you don't want to jump to conclusions because there have been injuries before where somebody looks just fine, and then the next day you hear it's a torn ACL or a torn Achilles. So yeah, you worry a little bit, but you just wait until the results come out. Don't jump to conclusions. And in this situation, all we got was a high ankle sprain, which is kind of the best case scenario. He'll be out a few weeks. That's it. So you just want to get him ready for the season. Because again, especially Yaya. I mean, led the league or led our team in sacks last year. Very important player on our team. You gotta keep him lined up with Levante. Keep our linebacking core intact, along with KJ Britt. So yeah, again, best case scenario was a minor injury. Yeah, so let me read a few more comments. Anthony Handy said, "Too much focus on training, but not enough on stretching and body maintenance, aka the arrogance of youth." Yeah, could be too. A lot of young guys may, not take it as serious. Stretching out and everything could be a team thing as well. So there's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of factors. So yeah, Christopher Cole says Villa landed on him. Okay, so that's what happened. Vita Vea landed on Diaby. Yeah, hate to see that. Especially with Villa, who, by the way, has lost a lot of weight this year. So he's trying to get quicker. faster on his feet. Yeah, you don't want Via, even with the weight loss, you don't want that guy landing on you. That would not be good at all. So thank you, Christopher, for the clarification right there. Yeah, I don't want Via landing on me. That would suck. Johnny Dean, Anthony Handy, Ben takes kneecaps like the Lions head coach. Come on, Johnny. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't compare Ben Cornett to me, Dan Campbell. Okay. We're gonna have a good season, by the way. And by the way, I know we're gonna have a great year because Hulk Hogan came to our training camp, brother. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Alex Lismore, big Lions fan. I know they had some injuries as well. Badgley got hurt; he's out for the year as well. And they had another guy, defensive end, out for the year. Jackson, I forget his last name, but reserve player. But still that's depth, and you don't want to lose. You don't want to have depth issues going into the season. You want to stay as healthy as possible. So the Lions they're feeling it right now, but still they should be a favorite to win their division and do some damage in the playoffs. But week 2, the Bucks go to Detroit, so we need to get revenge because we lost both those games last year to the Lions, and I'm tired of losing to them. We need to regain our dominance again against Detroit. So hopefully that'll happen this year. Scott says go Rams. Christopher says no worries. They just seem on the rise as the years go on. Yeah, there has been some rise in injuries. Not just the torn ACLs, but the Achilles, hamstring injuries, other injuries that have taken place. But like I said, we just all wish, not just our team, the Bucks, but all teams around the NFL, just wish for healthy seasons, healthy players, because you want to see the best out there. You want to play teams that are at their best. Again, if you play teams with injuries, you can't help it because they're on the schedule. But you always like to beat teams at their best because that you're the better team than them. So, Johnny says weather conditions also play a factor. Yeah, that's true. Anthony says, no, you had it right. Non-contract. Nobody nurses a sore muscle like a player waiting on a new deal. There you go. I like that. I like what you did there. Non-contract. There you are. Johnny Dean says, I hope you do have at it tomorrow, Ben. I have been building up some rants for it. Yeah, I hope so too, man. Let me see how my schedule looks and I'll let you know, man. Rick says, question for you, Ben. Why is Jason Light never even mentioned in the top executives? If this draft class is good, like expected, I just don't understand. Yeah, no, Rick, that's a very good question, man. It's no secret, like early on during Light's tenure, I was a little critical of him. That was before like 2020, stuff like that. That was during what Bucks fans call the lost decade. But I felt like since he brought in Bruce Arians, his drafts got better. He had a football coach who he knew at Arizona, worked with the Cardinals. Light's grown up. He's gotten better at the job. Uh, I do give him a lot of credit. Look, our draft class has been incredible the last several years. And yes, he had good picks too with Mike Evans, with Chris Godwin. So yeah, he's had some good picks, but he also had some bad picks. But every team does. Ali Marpet hit a home run there. But every executive's going to hit and miss on stuff. It happens. But I think when Bruce Arians came aboard, when Jason Light brought him in, he gets credit for that, bringing finally a good head coach, an experienced head coach into the organization that we needed. We needed that culture change. He's done a great job ever since. I can't really think of any draft picks that, I mean, maybe Joe, um, maybe JTS, try on Shayanka. You know, that really hasn't panned out. You could probably say, you know, Kyle Trask, but he never really had a chance. Because again, Tom Brady was there, then you signed Baker Mayfield, but I mean, those weren't like horrible picks. Sometimes it just happens, and also you can't really judge it by the first year or second year. These guys have to have time to develop, and you know, he's still Jason Light overall. I mean, I would say since Bruce Arians come aboard, I mean, um, he's done an absolutely great job. But as far as why he hasn't been mentioned along the executives, I'm going to be honest with you, Rick, and this is just a personal opinion of mine, but Tom Brady holds a lot of weight, you know. But Jason should get a lot of credit for bringing in Tom Brady. He did that. Him and Bruce Arians did that. So that right there, I mean, just puts him top 10 for sure, you know. But we got to see what he could do after Tom Brady. And so far, I mean, the Bucks made the playoffs. I mean, Yaya Diaby led the team in sacks as a rookie. So again, he's done a great job. I don't know, Rick. I mean, that's just I don't worry about the outside perspective of, you know, Sports Illustrated's or ESPN's or stuff like that. I think he's done a remarkable job, these last several years. You can't really say anything, negative about it. He's hit on a lot of good picks. Vita Vea, you know, Diaby. I mean, you know, Rashad White, we got to wait and see. He had a solid year last year, but again, this is his third year. Let's see what he can do. You know, um, but yeah, I mean, I think he's done a really good job. You got to give him a lot of credit for that. Let's see, Anthony Hendy, Jackson, Tito, Marlon Hewitt. Okay. Scott says, good show, Ben. I'm going to watch the game, which I'm going to do as well in a minute here. Just want to read a few more comments. Anthony Henny, Mike Evans, JJ Evans' grandnephew. They call him Little Dynamite. Well, there you go. I like that. I like Anthony. Thank you for bringing the heat tonight, man. Let's see. Christopher Cole says on YouTube, Dano's top 5 quarterback rankings are trash. Oh, Orlovsky, yeah. Well, it's Dan Orlovsky. What do you expect, Chris? Christopher Cole liked first few years. He didn't have total control of the draft. Yeah, it's a good point there. Yeah, because let's remember too, when Jason Light got here, he actually got here after Lovie Smith got here. So they hired the head coach first, and then they hired Jason Light. But so fair points, very fair points, Christopher. Let's see, I'll read a few more. Johnny Dean says recuse. I think it's because Jason, other than Brady, doesn't go after those big name guys. That's usually a bust. He stays in his lane and looks for dependable players instead. That's a good point, Johnny. Again, that goes back to what I said before. He signed his homegrown talent, his draft picks. He resigned them to those second, third contracts. That's very important for a team. That's what makes a good football team, a good organization. When you got players that have earned that second, third contract, you want to keep those guys. You want to keep the Mike Evans, the Tristan Wirfs, those guys that you drafted, the Levantes, very important. So, yeah, Jason Light's done an absolutely good job, especially with the undrafted rookies as well. Like I mentioned earlier, Cameron Brate, Adam Humphries, remember him, the wide receiver? He got a nice few years in the NFL. So, Jason Light's been making it happen for sure, man. Anthony said, I tried on a Shayanka one time. It was too tight. Last time I ordered anything from Shine. Well, thanks for giving me that advice. I'll certainly stay away from that. And Rick Hughes with the thumbs up. Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, everybody, I'm gonna step out. We got a game to watch. Okay, so NFL is officially back, baby, and I'm gonna go do that right now. And also, I'm gonna make some dinner. Man, turkey sausage jambalaya is calling my name. So, everybody, I want to thank each and every one of you tuning in tonight. Johnny, Anthony, Rick, Christopher Cole, Christopher O'Reilly, everybody else who's tuned in tonight. Appreciate it, man. I know it's a short video, but I just wanted to get on here to say the NFL is back and we're ready to go, man. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to step out. By the way, before I go, if you can, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, BenCornet9015. Greatly appreciate that, as well as on Facebook in the Benzone Facebook group. I'm on X as well at BennyBoy702. And if you're on Instagram as well, follow me at Ben702forever. And if you're watching this, you can see on my right-hand side, on the left side of the background, you'll see my social media handles right there. So if you can, please subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. So everybody, with that being said, enjoy the NFL game tonight, Texans and Bears. And we'll see you next time right here on the Ben Zone. Have a good night, everybody.